Hello friends, this is Worm and Destiny 2 community. It's about time we had a talk about some of y'all's behavior because honestly it is getting to a point where it is ridiculous. Now, I think it's no secret, and I think most of you watching would agree that the Destiny 2 community is one of the most temperamental, whiny and annoying communities in existence. And I can say that because I am also a member of this community, right? And I constantly make complaints about certain things, blah, 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 but those complaints are really, geared at making the game better, I guess. But what has sparked my interest in making a topic about this today is players' reactions to the things that we had been asking for. Okay, now I think that's part of the problem is the community is divided 50-50. Okay, this community is divided by, you got your hardcore players over here, right? Hardcore players, that play this game religiously, that get all the titles, get to, do raids, dungeons, all that stuff. And then you have your casual community that's over here, right? And this is your community that just kind of chills back. They just do stuff here and there. They play a couple hours a week and that's it. And this community is really, it's split between the two. Like I rarely meet somebody who's like right, in the middle of these two. Like you're either casual or you're hardcore in Destiny 2. And players on the more hardcore side have been asking for years, honestly. Please make Destiny 2 more grindy. Make Destiny 2 more grindy. We had a video talking about the grind again. I feel like I refer to this video in every single video that I do. But in that video, I talked about, one of the things that was magic about Destiny 1 is, of course, that grind. And a lot of players agree with that. And a lot of players have been asking for that. So Bungie, they come out here and they say, you know what? We are going to be removing the grind. Okay, we're going to be removing the grind, or not removing the grind, we're going to be enhancing the grind by removing craftable weapons. That's what I meant. We're going to be removing craftable weapons so that you now have to go out and just farm and get god rolls. And Bungie, I feel like they've really balanced this out perfectly this season. I'm not going to go too much into detail into this, but I feel like they've got a good balance here of, the amount of drops you get. But with that being said, they also have been listening to players' other feedback. Players don't like time gating, and the time gate is kind of where we're going to focus on today, because a lot of people are saying we don't like that we get drip fed missions throughout an act, and then it's boring, it's lame, blah 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 blah. So Bungie says, you know what, we're going to open the gates, we're going to let you have all of Act 1's missions right up front so that you can do them. And what would you imagine happen? The Destiny 2 community has no self-control, and they go in and they crank out all those missions in an hour's time, and then what happens? Oh, that was so short, that was lame, this is the most boring, blah 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 blah. There's no making this community happy. We've got to make our minds up. Do we want no time gates, or do we want things to be more time gated? I guess we get one or the other. We don't get the option of not having one. And I think that Bungie, as time has gone on, they have really, they're good about listening to their player base, but they're almost too good about listening to their player base, because players have been asking for easier ways to obtain loot, blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? They give us that, and then all of a sudden the game has lost its, its magic, that loot chase. And of course, players now are used to not having that loot chase. So now that it's, back, it's like, oh, this is really exciting. Players are also used to having, time-gated content. So when Bungie opens the floodgates, now it's like, oh, you would think, nay, we're excited, we don't have time gates anymore. But no, it's the opposite effect. Now it's, oh, that was too short, that was boring, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, why can't we make up our mind? I am sitting here, I've got Destiny 2 open right here, and I'm looking at it. I am on step 8 of the seasonal or the act overall quest line, because I'm going to be pacing myself. There's it's 40 something days, 30 or 40 something days till we get the next act. I don't want to jump in here and just crank out all of the story content ready to go. I'm not gonna say I want to draw it out over 6 weeks, but I'm not gonna do it all in one day. And if I do, I know that's on me. That's not on Bungie. That's on me. Bungie did exactly what we asked. They said, hey, we're not gonna have a time gate anymore. We're still gonna have time gates based on the acts, but that makes sense. But we're not gonna time gate, the missions. Now you can do the whole quest up front. And players, of course, are whining about it. That is too slow. It's too boring. It's too this, that, and the other, blah, 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 blah. And I don't know, what middle ground? What do players want? Do we want a full-size campaign? I'll tell you right now, that's not going to happen. Bungie has said it before. The campaign is one of the most expensive parts of the game to make, and it's one of the like least played parts. Like, yes, it would be amazing if we got like a full campaign, every single season to, or every single act, that we could go and do these, unique custom missions, blah, 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 blah. But that's not realistic. I mean, I don't think that's realistic to ask for. Like, yeah, at expansions, Final Shape or, Codename Apollo, when that comes, like, yeah, I expect a more story-driven campaign, but at the same time, like, it's not, I don't think it's fair to ask that for the acts. So, sorry, I got a little off topic here, but I don't know what the heck the players want anymore. Like, I know for me, like, I didn't like, I'm not going to say I hated time gates. I didn't care for time gates, but I also understood that they were necessary. And I knew that they were necessary because of exactly the situation that we have here. And I talked about this, I want to say it was a couple months ago. We made a whole video talking about Bungie lifting time gates. And I called it in that video. I said, hey, if Bungie lifts time gates, if they say, oh, we're going to take off the time gates and let everybody do everything at once, players are going to complain because they're going to do it all in one day and then they have nothing else to do. Right? And I don't know. There's no pleasing this community. We had the hardcore side that says we want more grind, less time gate. And then so Bungie said, okay, here's more grind, less time gate. Okay. And then they're mad. Oh, well, now the game's too short. We're satisfied on the grind side, but now it's too short. And then the casual player base is, well, now like it's too grindy. Like I can't get my stuff. Like there's no way to make everybody happy. So you can either make people equally miserable, or you can cater to one side or the other. And I mean, I don't think that's Bungie's only option here. Me personally, I like that they lifted the time gates. I have self-control, unlike some people, so I can control like, hey, I'm gonna do the X amount of this, this day, and then the next day I'm gonna do the X amount of this, and I can drip feed it, so on and so forth. But yeah, that's my whole rant spiel, whatever you want to call it, about players and the community's just insanity. The madness that is the Destiny 2 community. And I love it. Like, I love being a part of this community because it's funny. It makes me laugh when people are like, we want less time gates. Oh, now it's boring because we got all the time. Like, you've gotta inside, at least, on the inside, you gotta chuckle a little bit because that's funny. But yeah, with that being said, that's all I'm going to talk about. So tell me your thoughts in the comments. Yeah, like the video, helps the channel a lot. Subscribe for more daily Destiny content, conversations, debates, discussions, all that good stuff. And do me a favor, watch the videos you see here on the end screen, because for whatever reason, YouTube thinks you'll like them. Guys, I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.